Please move to Iowa.
If you move to Iowa, I think you're going to want to continue this podcast because you might get bored.
It'll be a bright spot on my calendar.
Iowa's a beautiful town.
Of course.
Country. It's a state.
I got iced in Des Moines.
Iced?
Iced?
You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm recording.
This isn't going to be as fun as the one we did the other night.
That's true. Well, maybe. You never know. We could,
I guess.
We could have fun, you know.
Yeah, it's always fun to talk to Evan. I shouldn't go into this with a pessimistic mindset, but I mean, it's exciting. We talked to a TV star the other night.
That's true. Oh, you're spoiling it. It's or did you already spoil it on Patreon?
I think I might have mentioned it in the post that I wrote the other day.
Oh, well, I think you probably could have figured it out if you listened to the Talking Shat series.
Yeah. You could figure out what we were trying to do at least. But we succeeded. We made it happen.
Yep.
I think I posted about it on Blue Sky too. But I won't say the name.
You'll have to guess what celebrity we talked to by going on Patreon and finding out exactly who we talked to.
Mm-hmm. If you want to know the truth, you have to give us $1. But today, this is free. This is free content for the masses, the poor people that can't afford $1,
or just don't want to give us the money, which is totally fine. Also.
Yeah, I guess that's valid.
You're saying like the only reason that they wouldn't sign up for the Patreon is because they can't afford $1, not because they just, personally dislike us.
Aren't interested. I do like to think about that. People who listen to the free show every week, but they don't like us, so they don't want to give us money.
I think there's some
a
non-zero
out there number.
Yeah. Hi. Hi to
Hello,
the haters.
This is our 243rd episode, and if you're here, I hope you've listened to every previous 242 episodes, because the backstory is going to be crucial today for you to understand where we're coming from as we dig into today's material. But before we get to the meat of the episode, I have a new segment which I'm calling Important Adam Steen Updates. And the first most important update is... I mentioned last episode that Dexter Merschbrock, a friend of ours, quoted Adam Steen talking about the TV show The King of Queens, and he went and dug up the clip for us. Digged up. He digged it up. Can you say that? Is that proper English?
I wouldn't know. I'm not great with English.
Yeah.
It's whatever you make it,
That's true. It's a living language. It's evolving.
That's true.
Constantly. Digged up is now proper English.
Actually,
dictated by me.
I disagree with what our celebrity guest said on our podcast that hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, that's another teaser, everyone. All right, so this clip that our friend Dexter digged up is from a podcast called Courageous Crossroads, hosted by Jeff Johnson. And the tagline is, "What's the most courageous thing you've ever done?"
Are you asking me? Because
I am curious what your answer would be to that question.
I'm not particularly known for being courageous.
Yeah.
Bravest thing I've done is podcast, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, the most courageous thing I've ever done is spoken into a microphone with my real name attached and shared my genuine opinions in a public forum.
Yep. In the era of cancel culture.
That's right. We're actually some of the bravest people on earth because we subject ourselves to such scrutiny. We're risking our lives every day by speaking to the public. But Adam Steen, candidate for governor in Iowa, running in the Republican primary, was on Courageous Crossroads in November of 2025. And here's the clip that we were referring to here.
No, well, what's funny is I'll never forget it. I was single at the time, this big screen, and I was watching The King of Queens. And I love The King. I think King of Queens is hilarious. And I was laughing at something on that show, and I felt like, what am I doing? Like I am focused on this right now. I need to be focused back on the word. And that's when I shut the TV off.
Relatable, right? We all love The King of Queens.
We've all sat and watched The King of Queens and thought to ourselves, what are we doing? What are we doing with our lives?
That part, I definitely can relate. But when you have a thought like that, does your mind turn to, I should be reading the Bible?
I don't know. I don't think so. I don't think King of Queens is particularly like blasphemous, you know? It's
not that like, I remember. I think it was pretty bland, like network sitcom stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess Leah Remini was a Scientologist. I don't know if she was
right.
when she was on the show or not, because I think
that's
she
right, yeah.
left. Well, I mean, she has the documentary series where she talks about it.
I think there's like another show that I confuse with King of Queens. Oh, yeah, Yes, Dear. You remember that show?
No, I don't.
Okay, well, I think it was like the exact same show as King of Queens, and it would like, you know, like TBS fucking reruns in the afternoon or whatever.
Oh, so it's like the other Girl Dad show?
Yeah.
Isn't that the King of Queens? Like, it's like, you know, Kevin James and he's in a house.
They have kids, actually.
Oh, they don't?
I think it's just because it's set in Queens.
I don't know. Oh, okay. That's... Yeah, it shows my knowledge of shitty network sitcoms.
Yeah, I think they're a childless couple, but one of their dads, played by Jerry Stiller, lives with them, and so I think it's like the drama comes from, you know, they're trying to get pregnant and the dad is watching.
Oh, that's not good.
Wait, did I watch the wrong thing? But anyway, yeah, it's what a weird clip. Adam Steen, I don't know if I assume that's a story where you're trying to come off as like, I'm just a regular guy trying to live a godly life, and I'm tempted by the big screen showing me reruns of The King of Queens. Just
broadcasting
like
New York City into my life.
Yeah, that's what was so sinful about it.
Godless New York City shit.
Yeah.
The King of Steens.
Well, okay, there's the episode title. Okay, but there was some real life important updates to the Adam Steen campaign. He has thrown a couple of staffers under the bus due to the Eddie Andrews controversy. Our old friend Brianne Pfaffenstiel writes in the Des Moines Register, Adam Steen shakes up campaign staff after ballot challenge blowback. Now, that's a great headline. I assume Brianne is not responsible for her own headlines, but I really like that one.
Yeah, it is good.
Props to the editors. Okay, Republican gubernatorial candidate Adam Steen is shaking up his staff after facing blowback for his campaign's involvement in challenging competitor Eddie Andrews' candidate paperwork. Campaign manager Rob Peters and communications director Rebecca Olson have moved on, Ryan Rhodes told the Des Moines Register. Now, one little problem I have with this article is they don't tell us who Ryan Rhodes is before they say his name, so I was really bewildered when I read the first two sentences of this. It's like, what? So this guy actually, Ryan Rhodes, was trying to run for Congress, and he has backed out of that in order to help the Adam Steen campaign. He seems like a real bad guy. Rhodes served as the CEO of the conservative social media site Parler before stepping down in 2025.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's a throwback.
Yeah. He was also the founder of the Tea Party in Iowa and has worked on multiple political campaigns in the state, including for Republican presidential candidates Ben Carson and Michelle Bachmann. So this is who Adam Steen now has in his employ. And then, yeah, the rest of the article kind of just recaps what happened, which was that the Steen campaign provided documentation to some guy who wanted to try to get Eddie Andrews thrown off the primary ballot, and then they lied to the public about it. Fun.
Yeah.
So you can't just, I guess, let that happen without some sort of sacrifice. So two members of the campaign have been thrown to the wolves.
Blowback is a hot topic these days. Also, a very good podcast. Check that one out.
The theory of blowback has been completely disproven. I read something like that on Twitter.
Yeah. Oh man, was that in like the New York Times or something? Oh man,
I think it was like Richard Hanania tweeted that.
Oh,
I think is
okay,
where I saw
yeah.
it.
Well, same thing.
Roughly the same. Yeah,
he's basically a New York Times writer at this point.
Basically the same ideology and mindset. Yeah. If you go back, I don't know. Go back to when we first started this stupid belligerent war with Iran, and think about how you felt at the time. Like, oh, what could the consequences be? Now, zoom ahead to now. There's been no blowback, right?
Blowback. I mean, there's a little bit of a delay. I think we'll.
It doesn't happen immediately.
I don't think it. Yeah, I think we might need to wait for some of that blowback.
Honestly, see how things are going in a couple decades. See if we've sparked another 9/11 or two.
Yeah, I mean, it might be sooner than a couple decades too, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, back to home, back to Iowa politics. I just want to read a headline. We don't need to read the article for this one, but the Gazette interviewed former Governor Terry Branstad, and the headline was "Former Iowa Governor Branstad on Republican gubernatorial primary drama." Now, this is quoting Terry Branstad. "I don't think that's a good thing."
No drama. Terry's not about the drama.
With a bombshell like that, you can't not put that in the headline. I don't think that's a good thing.
This thing that's bad is actually not good.
I don't like it. I don't like it. There's nothing really any more interesting than that in the article. So I think it's time for us to really get to what we have to talk about today.
Rob said, cracks down on what kind of crime each day. His skills assure us.
He finally released his platform. We've been long awaiting the Rob Sand campaign platform running for governor of Iowa. He's been running since May of 2025, right? And the platform came out this week, shared exclusively first with the National Review, the William F. Buckley publication. The National Review is where he went to first with his campaign platform. What message does that send to you?
We know who he's trying to reach out to. I don't know if the people who read the National Review are too enthused about him. I didn't read all the comments on that.
Comments, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't read all of them, but it seems like a lot of people don't really believe that he is he's the conservative that he is trying to brand himself as.
Yeah, a lot of people are comparing him to the governor of Virginia, Spanberger. I forget her first name.
Abigail.
You're right. Thank you. They accuse her of having campaigned as like a moderate, reasonable centrist. And now, of course, once she's in office, just absolute leftist lunacy. We all know how things are going in Virginia. They've, abolished capitalism, and the workers have overthrown the bosses, and they have collective ownership of industry in Virginia. Finally, at long last, the Commonwealth of Virginia.
That's so fucked up, man. Can't believe it.
My favorite comment on the National Review article, though, comes from a user named Noah, spelled Noauh, who said, about Rob Sand, terrible ideas. He grew up on Reddit.
It's probably true. It's probably
got him
true.
in one. Destroyed immediately.
Oh, man, I would love to see his Reddit user history.
Oh, yeah, it's got to be worse than Zach Wall's talking about Asian porn, right?
I'm sure it's really funny.
On the scale of young man Reddit comments, do you think that Rob Sand... I'd say the scale is probably from Zach Walls to Graham Plattner. Where do you think Rob Sand lies on that spectrum?
Probably closer to Zach Walls than Plattner.
I would guess so, yeah.
I don't think... I mean, I don't think he... I believe Rob when he says that he's, he doesn't... I guess he doesn't say this, but he's a center-right politician.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I was looking into his... he used to write for the newspaper at Brown when he was in college.
maybe we'll get into that someday on the podcast, but he was like fairly, standard Bush era liberal, at least in his writing at the time, which, I mean, it kind of makes sense, even though he set up a conservative curriculum for himself when he was a student there, which he brags about now. He was thinking ahead. He knew what he was going to become.
Yeah. I mean, it was easy to hate Bush back then also, He just blows around in the wind.
Mr. Weather Vane. God, was there even anything in this National Review article that I cared to read? It didn't make much of an impression on me.
No, I mean, it's just basically a PR release. I mean,
yeah.
There's not much there.
Polling in the race is scant, but a public survey of likely 2026 midterm voters last fall found Sand leading Feenstra by 2 points. The University of Virginia Center for Politics election forecaster, Sabato's crystal ball, our favorite, currently has the race in the leans Republican category. Oh yeah, this was funny. It ends with a quote from Kim Reynolds. He's been the most partisan auditor I think we have had in our state's history. This is from the Wall Street Journal, I guess. I don't think we ever read that. And she said, he's opposed to anything I do. Yeah, if only.
Yeah.
I wish that were actually true. But no, he makes great pains to emphasize when he agrees with you in order to appeal to a broader base. Like, I think he kind of like, he opens a lot of conversations with like, oh, I agree with the Republicans on banning cell phones in school. See? I'm reasonable.
One of the most important issues, once again. I mean...
All right, you want to get into it? There's a fucking PDF, a 7-page PDF of the platform. And I think we got to go through it. We just got to talk about every little bit of this. Somebody needs to cover this through a critical lens. Because all I'm seeing is like, wow.
I know. I feel so insane, but I'm not going to change my mind.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm glad that he's finally like putting pen to paper and like being explicit. Like these are my priorities. If I am to become your governor, I'm glad to see that. I'm not glad to see what his priorities actually are, though.
I mean, like they're pretty much the same things he's been talking about, like his entire campaign. So it's like it's not surprising. Also, I feel like this can't be his whole platform.
Well. Yeah, something I do want to point out before we get into it is I saw this in a Little Village article recently that they're talking about like legalization of marijuana.
Yeah.
And the Iowa Republican platform is like explicitly still opposed to that. And Sand, when asked about it, says that like that's one of his priorities is to legalize weed. Well, that doesn't appear in this PDF even a single time. So like, what do you want? What do you want to do, man? Like, yeah, if you put that front and center, like that would be a huge boon to your campaign. People want weed to be legal, generally.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's a slam dunk for him. But yeah, I guess this is like an accountability agenda. But then also, like in the first page of the PDF, it has like he's talking about like, we have a lot of problems, worst economy, bad public schools, cancer. Right. Which is like none of the things in here like address any of that, except for maybe the schools a little bit,
kind of. But
and
it's
even then, it's also
at best.
Yeah, again, not really rocking the boat there.
All right, page 1, a truer, better agenda. Shut the fuck up with that shit. I'm so tired of this. The campaign slogan is bad. Does really anyone outside of Rob Sand himself think that the red or blue or better, truer thing is good? It's not good.
I think they might be going more for memorable than good.
Ideally, you'd have both. Which
is not a terrible. Yeah, ideally you have both, but maybe not the worst to go with something that stands out a little bit. Weird, Muhammad Ali rhyme scheme stuff.
The truer, better agenda: accountability for all. He's wearing a bomber jacket on page 1. Kind of cool.
Carhartt.
Yeah, can you see the logo though?
I think I'm 90% sure that's a Carhartt logo.
Where?
Which is again
on his shoulder?
Yeah, like on the breast pocket. It could be a different one, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter because like Carhartt is Rob Sand. Rob Sand is Carhartt. It is the
Definitely. That's part of the
It
uniform.
is the cloak of the American moderate.
Everywhere I go. Oh, I was looking at the first page, the cover page. That's definitely Carhartt on page 2.
Ah, yeah, gotcha.
Everywhere I go, Iowans tell me the same thing. Our political system is broken. I couldn't agree more. I've been sounding the alarm about this and the dangers of the two-choice system for years.
Okay. 2 choices.
I've watched government insiders prioritize their own bottom lines or special interests ahead of doing what's right for Iowans, and politicians pit neighbor against neighbor while failing to do anything to fix our problems, and in many cases make them worse. An echo chamber can't produce results, no matter which party is in power. That's a theme that'll come back. I don't know if we need to dig in on that right now. But how are the politicians pitting neighbor against neighbor?
I don't know. All I can think of is the HBO Neighbors documentary that just came out, which is a must-watch.
Absolutely.
In my opinion.
Yeah. And I think that's beyond sort of partisan politics. I think that's maybe baked into the American project.
Yeah, totally.
Is this the obsession with your property and the
property that we stole?
Yeah, the fetishization of like protecting yourself from anyone who would threaten your property. That is beyond, Republican versus Democrat. That is absolutely fundamental to this settler nation.
Now that you mention it, you sent me the link to the Brown University student paper articles that he wrote. Mm-hmm. And one of them, he does talk about property rights being like the foundation of American society.
There you go. And that's the root of the problem. That is why so many of us are absolutely crazy and like finger on the trigger against all the people who live around us. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, racial mania, being terrified of minorities.
Yeah, very, very intertwined there.
Mm-hmm. We have a lot of problems in Iowa. We have the worst economy in the nation. Our public schools, which used to be our state's crown jewel, are now middle of the pack at best. And we have the #1 growth rate for cancer. That may be the last mention of anything healthcare related in this PDF. This year, we have the opportunity to change course in Iowa. The government insiders know it too. That's why they're trying to cling to control by working to limit the powers of the next governor, just like they did with the auditor's office in 2023. Because they know time's almost up for their corruption and inside dealings. This is, of course, important, right? That they passed a bill to take power away from Rob Sand's office. It is something bad that our state legislature did a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. But I think it's more important to Rob than it is to anyone he's trying to appeal to.
True.
Like there's a video that like accompanies the release of this platform that he posted on social media and whatnot, where he's walking around the Capitol in Des Moines and sort of basically reading the PDF out loud. And that's like the first thing he mentions is that the state took power away from the auditor. It's like, yeah, it's bad, but is that like the first thing to mention? Most people don't know how any of that works.
Yeah, I think it's just like his campaign is, and probably, the people that he is, consulting with, it's all about bipartisanship. That is, mm-hmm. The fact that they passed a law to limit his power as auditor is like an attack on the idea that we can all just work together and get along and reach some kind of consensus where... Which, I don't know, just seems like a kind of a fantasy and not really something that's going to ever happen.
Exactly the word I had in mind. That is a fantasy. So the way that you fight back about that is by crushing your political enemies, which they are. Like you are pretending that this is not a fight for resources and for like, principles. You're pretending that no, we can all just gather around the table and hash this out, and we can come to an agreement that we all can be satisfied with. We
at a time when like crushing our enemies is like the #1 fucking thing that needs to happen in this country for it to ever be,
More and more people are feeling that way as well because you're witnessing the horrors of conservative leadership.
These people should be punished and they should go to jail, possibly worse.
Well, some people will go to jail according to Rob Sand's platform. We'll get to that.
That's true. Yeah, maybe and maybe not maybe not just every Iowa lawmaker, but at the highest levels, people need to be they need consequences, real ones.
Yeah, I mean maybe I will write my own campaign platform for like a long shot independent bid for governor. It's one page PDF, and it says, "Put Steve Holt in prison." Iowa's political system and government is broken from the ground up. We can't get to work solving Iowans' toughest challenges with a broken foundation. That's why I'm releasing a series of proposals that get to the root of our problems. Fixing the broken political system through accountability, transparency, and a commitment to public service. Why are you laughing?
Because I've read the rest of the PDF.
Yeah. If I were to say something like that, we need to get to the root of the problem. What's the root of the problem, really?
I mean, I think it goes back to the private property stuff.
Right. Rob, I know you read Marx in college, right? Come on. You know what the real root of the problem is, don't you? I'm not talking about dusting old failed policies off a shelf or promoting pie-in-the-sky ideas that will never go anywhere. I wonder which ideas he's referring to.
Yeah.
I'm talking about real common sense ways we can improve our political system and Iowans' lives. Feels like he's having it both ways here, where it's like, this is what we really need to do that will actually fix all the problems. Okay, now don't get carried away.
Yeah, for sure.
This will fix everything. Hey, don't get your expectations too high.
Yeah, that's like also in line with him being like, oh, I'm against the outs or the insiders or whatever. Like, are you an outsider? Like,
yeah,
I don't think there's no way that you can really say like you're not a Republican. That makes you an outsider, I guess, because every other office in the state is occupied by Republicans. But like, I don't think that's it doesn't ring true to me.
Yeah, you've been working for the Iowa state government for like 15 years, right?
Yeah.
You're inside. Like, you disagree with the majority party, but on a lot of things, but not all things.
You've spent your entire life in politics. I mean,
yeah, you're inside. This is a forgotten Iowa tradition. We were the first state in the nation to make sure politicians couldn't gerrymander by setting up an independent redistricting commission. I mean, it doesn't mean they can't gerrymander.
Yeah.
They definitely can.
They definitely tried.
Yeah. The first state in the nation to make sure politicians couldn't just appoint their cronies as judges by setting up a merit-based judicial selection system. Yes, merit is real and not also a fantasy. Iowa set the standard for accountability, but after a decade of one-party control, we've lost our way. It's time to get back to what Iowa does best, protecting the values of fairness and accountability in our public offices, making government be about public service, not politics, and put Iowans, not insiders, first. Sorry, man, but you can't separate government from politics. It's just...
Yeah.
This is nonsense. It doesn't mean anything, what you just said. Since launching my campaign for governor, I've been traveling the state, hearing directly from Iowa families about what keeps them up at night. Evan, do you get a good night's sleep?
I just think about how people on, the people on both sides of the aisle need to come together. And that just really bothers me at night. And I can't sleep.
Yeah. I toss and turn and I think, if only they could get over their petty differences. Like,
I have to put my binky in to calm myself down.
I wake up, I pour myself a glass of warm milk.
Yeah, that's right in line with Rob's campaign. A man loves milk.
Mm-hmm. Which just like Elon Musk's son ordering milk at a sushi restaurant or whatever.
I did not see this, but that's
really?
interesting.
Yeah, really, really stupid. His son's Saxon.
Okay, I was gonna say the young one. Like, I was gonna say he's like a little old for milk, right?
I've spent months meeting with experts and stakeholders across fields to develop realistic, affordable, and achievable proposals we could implement to start solving some of our state's toughest challenges. Again, having read the rest of this PDF, what? Is any of that in here? Like, almost none of this is even specific. Like,
Yeah.
we're talking about, like, is it affordable and achievable? I mean, it's vague gestures, mostly. I'm releasing my Accountability for All plan to hold our government officials accountable and put Iowans, not politics or special interests, first, including... All right, here we go. Now, a lot of this, to the people out there, is going to sound like he kind of sourced this from, like... I don't know, your coworker from the job you had when you were 19 who was always talking about, like, I vote for the person, not the party.
Yeah.
And I think there's like 3 things that would fix the whole system. Number 1, banning stock trading so politicians can't use insider information to benefit and enrich themselves. All right. I'm certainly not opposed to this. Government insiders like members of Congress, state legislators, and statewide elected officials like the governor have access to inside information about key industries and companies. Elected officials in those roles should not be permitted to trade stocks, plain and simple. I support banning stock trading at the federal level so politicians can't use inside information to benefit and enrich themselves, and I will also call for Iowa to do it at the state level. Yes, I support this, but it's a Band-Aid, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, you can ban trading stocks, but that doesn't prevent the corrupting influence of money on politics, which is something that he doesn't really, seek to address at all.
Why wouldn't he want to address that?
Well, might have been a big factor in the fact that he's even running for governor right now. Might be that he has some very wealthy benefactors.
This PDF, kind of relies on his wife's dad's money. As governor, I'll call to reform our financial disclosure laws to bring more transparency to potential conflicts of interest by statewide elected officials and legislators, including requiring all candidates for office to file personal financial disclosures listing all individual stocks and financial holdings. Has he released that about himself?
I don't think so. Yeah, that's a good point. Release the Rob Sand tax returns.
Yeah, that's right. You go first. Maybe he has, and I just haven't seen it. I don't know. But kind of what I was thinking this whole time is, like, this whole thing is moot if you're, like, one person removed from the source of all of your money, right? Like,
yeah.
Like, Nixon Lauritsen is not required to, like, make all this information public, and he is the one funding your campaign. So, like, all you have to do is have, like, 1 degree of separation.
Also, just like the lobbying, the way that like people, go from public to private and back, the revolving door shit. Like there's like a million ways that politicians can make money off of their position. Right. And this is just one avenue, which I don't even think is like, I don't think there's been any scandals with like Iowa politicians like doing insider stock trading. Like the one that people always bring up is like Nancy Pelosi.
Right.
And
there's
now
been
all that
like
shit's
a lot
just
of happening on
scandals.
Polymarket.
Yeah, that's true.
Under anonymous accounts. So another way to sidestep it. Reporting quarterly earnings per financial holding and providing updated reports for any changes. Officials would also be required to put stock holdings in blind trusts until they are no longer in their positions of power. Violations of these laws would result in mandatory prison time, not a slap on the wrist or a sternly worded letter from a toothless agency. Oh.
There he goes. He's trying to, send some people to prison.
Yes. Yes. We love more people in prison. Couldn't you also give the agency some teeth? If you're like the governor?
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of mandatory prison time, the next thing is about prison as well. And what I'm looking for in somebody seeking elected office in this, like, very compromised democratic system that we are trapped in. When it comes to prison, I'm seeking leadership that seeks to, reduce the prison population, address racial disparity in the people we're sending to prison, legalize weed, which apparently Rob is for, but doesn't mention in this PDF. That would be, part of a sending us down the path of, prison abolition, which maybe that's one of those pie in the sky ideas.
I think that is
Rob,
definitely a pie in the sky idea, according to Rob.
But I think if you are like an empathetic and reasonable, intelligent person, you can see how that is like an honorable goal to push towards, even if not ever fully achieved. Like, it's not good that we lock a bunch of people up, right? Well, maybe it is good if we require mandatory prison sentences for taxpayer abusers and thieves.
Taxpayer abusers? The fuck?
People are out there whipping us for paying taxes. This is a no-brainer. I've introduced this policy every year as state auditor since I took office, yet government insiders have refused to take action on this common sense proposal. Is he like drafting a bill?
Yeah.
That's
You're
not
not
your
in the
role,
legislature.
really. Yeah. Makes you wonder why. Thieves who steal Iowans' hard-earned tax dollars should get more than a slap on the wrist, which is far too often what happens. He knows this well because his office is always releasing these like PR things about who they've punished.
Yeah, and it's always like the lowest level like county employees. Like, I don't think the government insiders actually give a shit about those people and don't really care about protecting them. It's just like, this is just basically everything in this platform is just like does nothing to actually address anything.
Yeah. Well, like you were saying before, the ways that people enrich themselves through, quote, public service, those are legal. Right?
Yeah.
That's why they get away with it, is because, like, the system is designed to protect those people who are, like, getting rich off of, like, the backs of the rest of us. And so the way that they do that is legally protected.
Yeah, and this is already against the law.
Right. Yeah. You just want the punishment to be harsher. Here, the punishment must be severe enough to deter people from committing these crimes in the first place. Not how it works.
Yeah, how
Prison
about
is
you,
not a deterrence.
Yeah, maybe those pie in the sky economic ideas might actually be a much better way to address that than it is to just say, like, we need to punish people who are put in a position where they need to fucking steal to, get by.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back at all these things that the auditor has released, while Rob Sand's been the auditor, the people that they catch stealing taxpayer funds, they use that money to like buy groceries. It's not like, it's not like, the stock trading shit. It's like, I'm not being paid enough at this stupid job. Like, it's the feelings that we've all had where it's like, there's a bunch of money in this cash register. If I just took it all, like I'd be able to pay my rent.
Yep.
I support mandatory prison time for anyone found guilty of stealing over $10,000 in taxpayer dollars, banning anyone convicted of fraud from doing business with the state, and stripping them of taxpayer-funded benefits like retirement and health care. See, that'll do it. They'll stop committing crimes then.
Yeah, let's just put them on a path of recidivism.
Yeah, take all their resources from them so that they have no other options. You're not allowed to work for the state. You're not allowed to receive any more benefits. You are now a street person. Now you'll stop committing crimes. All right, restoring the full powers of the auditor's office and expanding those powers so the auditor may operate his own prison. After we uncovered a record amount of misspent tax dollars in my first term as state auditor, government insiders passed a bill, which Governor Reynolds signed, allowing government agencies to hide key documents from the auditor's office, making it harder to uncover waste, fraud, and abuse of tax dollars. You can't imagine a clearer line drawn between who is working for Iowans and who is working for insiders than that. No matter who becomes Iowa's next state auditor, Republican or Democrat, the full powers of Iowa's taxpayer watchdog should be restored to best protect Iowa's tax dollars. He's not wrong, but there is, of course, this needless sort of play at like, hey, even if it's a Republican, I think that they should be allowed to do audits again.
They should be allowed to audit me for the entirety. Like, I mean, you think they're not going to use those powers against you? I mean, I guess he probably knows that. I don't know. I guess then he can grandstand more about being against the insiders who are attacking him. But like, that's the thing is like, you can't like opt out of this partisanship stuff.
Right. That's that's what I'm thinking. It's like, I'm above all this pettiness. And it's like, well, you're actually not, though.
Let's see what happens if you win, you know?
Best of luck to you.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
Me know. I know. It's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be great for the podcast either way.
Strengthen whistleblower protections. We need to support and protect those who are brave enough to come forward to call out powerful insiders without fear of retaliation. Currently, Iowa only offers whistleblower protections for state employees. As governor, I'd extend those protections to allow every Iowan to feel empowered to come forward with evidence of wrongdoing or abuses of power. I am curious how this would work in practice. Like,
Yeah.
put up billboards that are like, hey, snitch. Come on. Like, I guess you offer rewards, but also who are you aiming this at? Like, who would have the knowledge of like what's going on to blow the whistle if not state employees?
Yeah. I guess, I don't know, contractors.
Okay.
But every
so.
Iowan, but yeah, I don't really, I guess whistleblower, there's like, that could be a million different contexts. Like you can like do a whistleblower, like for OSHA or whatever or something, if something happens at your workplace, or like, go to the, Board of Labor or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really, it's so vague. Most of this stuff is super vague.
I'm not totally sure what he's getting at with that one. I mean, but yeah, vaguely like, okay, I guess I'm in support of that for sure. Okay, speaking of not really explaining himself, making the Public Innovations and Efficiencies, PI, program mandatory across government agencies. We launched this program in the auditor's office, and it's been a huge success in saving tax dollars. So much so that Republican State Auditor of Mississippi copied it. If I'm governor, I'd make this program mandatory for all government agencies to ensure tax dollars are being used as efficiently as possible across the state. Plus, the award is an actual pie, and who doesn't love pie? Okay, I'm sorry. What is this? Like,
I still don't know what the fuck the PIE program actually is. We've been talking about Rob Sand for a long time, and I still have no fucking clue.
Yeah, he shares photos from time to time where he visits like a small town government office and gives them a pie. And it's something like, you change a policy or something and it saves money. It makes the way you spend the tax dollars more efficient. And I don't know how you win the pie, but
well, if the Republican State Auditor of Mississippi thinks it's a good idea, then I'm fully on board.
It must be, right? It must be. Maybe it would benefit from some explanation, without maybe don't assume everybody who opens this PDF knows what the fuck you're talking about with that one. Because like Evan said, we've been paying attention to you for a long time, and we don't fully grasp what the PI program is.
Like, what actually, like, how do you win? What are the criteria? Like, I don't understand it at all.
Next, implementing rules and transparency for the private school voucher program. This is perhaps the most, like, not grasping the full gravity of the situation. Implementing rules and transparency for the private school voucher program? We can't even, like, try to end it?
Yeah. I feel like that's also one that, like, most Democrats agree on. Mm-hmm. Like, that it's bad and needs to go. Like, I feel
the whole concept is fucked. Like, we shouldn't be doing this at all. But no, the problem is really that there's just not enough rules around it. The current school voucher program is an open invitation to waste, fraud, and abuse of taxpayer dollars. This school year alone, the voucher program is estimated to cost taxpayers $350 million meant for our public schools to unaccountable private schools, while funding for public schools isn't keeping up with inflation. Yep, that's a huge, huge problem. We need to ensure public oversight over public dollars. What about public use of public dollars? Like, they should only be used for public education.
Yeah.
But here's how he aims to fix this massive problem. I support requiring annual audits of the private school voucher program to ensure that the money is spent responsibly. It isn't. I mean, you don't need to audit it. Like, private schools exist for a particular function, which is like not responsible. It's not publicly responsible. Like, public education is the way that you like hold the system accountable to the people.
Yeah.
Having this, segregated thing where certain people go to the fancy school, I mean, you're not going to be spending the money responsibly. That is like making a hierarchical system worse. Okay, limiting tuition increases so that the schools can't just hike costs and become as unaffordable as they were before. The issue is not affordability. The issue is segregating the school system.
I think a lot of people who send their kids to private schools kind of want them to be unaffordable also.
Right. They want this to be a gated community. They are trying to keep undesirable people away from their rich white children. This is the motivation behind these private schools, is to protect my young Chauncey from, the dangerous blacks. Like, that's why these schools exist, man. You can't really put a Band-Aid on this one. Implementing income limits so that the money is going to students and families who need it the most, not to the wealthiest Iowans who were sending their kids to private schools anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say this reminds me of a lot of like means testing. Like, we need to like, instead of just changing the program, getting rid of it, redirecting funds to public education, it's like we need to audit, we need to means test, we need to do all these things to, make sure the money's going to the right place, because we can't just like make the money go to the right place.
Right. And if it's going to a private school at all, it's not going to the right place, fundamentally.
Right. Yeah.
Then we get ending sweetheart deals for companies like Odyssey, which manages the school voucher program and more than doubled its rate in less than a month after signing their no-bid contract, costing taxpayers an additional $2.7 million. Government insiders are trying to lock in those deals for years to come, regardless of who is elected in November. That's wrong. Yes, it is. The whole thing, like, none of this taxpayer money should be going to any of this. We're not going to fix it by auditing it and establishing more rules. Just, it has to be stopped completely.
Yeah. Also, the things that you're proposing also are going to cost money,
True. Yeah. Yeah. The more efficient and straightforward thing to do would be outlaw private schools.
Yep.
All right. Maybe the best page on this is page 6. Establishing requirements for elected officials so we can get back to public service, not protecting the careers of insiders. This is the greatest hits of one weird trick that will fix Congress. That's basically what this is.
Yeah. We need to just do a little bit of anti-democratic stuff in an era, again, where the idea of democracy is pretty much dead or being killed.
Enforcing term limits.
Who cares? Shut up.
I mean, that's all that really needs to be said. But Iowa is one of only a handful of states that doesn't have term limits in place for elected officials. I did very cursory fact checking on this. I don't think that's really accurate. I think it was maybe 10 to 15 states that have no term limits at all. Sure, it's a minority of states, but that's more than a handful.
Yeah.
And most of the states that do have term limits, it's only for the governor. Legislators don't really have those term limits. It's kind of an executive thing. Once we pop the seal on that for the president, they're like, well, why not the governors too? Yeah, I mean, I see the appeal, but term limits are essentially anti-democratic, right?
Yeah.
If people want to keep voting for the same guy, they should.
Again, it's the actual issue is money and power. You know, incumbents have all of these connections, all of the resources available to them to continue running competitive races,
And term limits exist in this country because FDR had figured out the exploit to electoral success, which is give people some shit.
Yeah.
And we can't have somebody exploiting that ever again. We cannot have public officials giving the people anything. Public service is a noble calling, Wrong. And we want to elect people with good experience, but too many years in power can lead to complacency, inefficiency, and even corruption. We need term limits to prevent career politicians who have no desire to actually solve any of our problems from holding indefinite positions of power. I support limiting statewide elected office holders to no more than 3 terms in any statewide office, and state legislators to no more than 12 years in the legislature, plus no more than a total of 20 years maximum overall in any state office.
Okay. I'm sure this is going to have just, we're going to be living in the greatest state ever after these proposals are put into place.
I didn't do a ton of research into this, but I was trying to figure out like how many like active current elected people would this affect? And it seems like not a lot, right? Enforcing age limits. I love this one as well. Iowans and Americans are ready for a new generation of leadership. Our Constitution has minimum ages for different offices for good reasons. It does? I thought it was kind of just arbitrary.
Yeah.
Like, I know president's 35, and
Yeah.
like they didn't explain themselves in the Constitution when they put those like minimum ages in there. It's just there.
Yeah. Senate is like 30. I mean, again, who cares?
No, it's rarely is anyone like getting close to that minimum threshold. It's like, I don't know. It's not a good reason. They're just there. We should have similar guardrails. I support enforcing age limits for our elected officials and judges in line with the standards set for the Iowa State Supreme Court. At 78 years old, we thank them for their service, wish them a happy retirement, and push them off the cliff.
At an age that is higher than the average lifespan of a human being in the United States, we need to tell them to fuck off.
Well, and especially here in Iowa, I'm sure our lifespan's like 10 years below that.
Yeah.
This one I did try to look up. Not every state legislator's age is like easily findable. I found 2 current elected officials that this would apply to. We've got Julian Garrett, who's in the Iowa Senate. He is 85. And we've got Ruth Ann Gaines from Des Moines, who is a state representative, and she is either 78 or 79. So my theory is that Rob chose the age of 78 because he wants to kick this black woman out of power. I think that's what he's going for.
Is Iowa Supreme Court age limit 78? I don't really.
Yeah, maybe that's where he.
I know
got
there's
that
like a
number.
mandatory retirement age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is age 78 as of.
Okay, so he's just copying that over from there.
This is actually a law that was passed, just last year.
Oh, that's new? Okay. That's funny. I've been on the record in support of mandating age limits far before the trust had been broken by elected officials who put their own careers ahead of what's best for the people they represent. And enforcing age limits can help rebuild that trust. I don't know that it can. If we're re-electing 90-year-olds, they got the votes, I don't know what to tell you.
That's true. Yeah. So I'm sorry, go back to the retirement age for judges. It was raised from 72 to 78 years, as of July 1st, 2025.
Okay. So we actually,
72 was too low.
So we actually loosened the restriction a little bit. All right. Maybe even funnier, requiring elected officials to take cognitive tests. Over the last several years, self-interested politicians have eroded voters' trust by putting their careers ahead of what's best for the people they represent. I can't keep letting this go. He keeps insisting that this is a recent problem. Mm-hmm. That people have, over the past couple years, people have really lost faith in their elected leaders. I'm sure, this kind of ebbs and flows, right? We're in a particularly low moment, I think, in Trump's second term. But who the fuck was enthusiastic about their representation in Congress prior to 2020?
Yeah,
this is not really new. Nixon was 50 years ago.
Yeah.
People don't trust their elected officials. Never. Requiring cognitive tests is a step toward rebuilding that trust and ensuring our elected leaders are up for the job. Candidates should be required to submit a letter from their doctor attesting to their mental and physical fitness in order to appear on the ballot.
Doctor's
Whoa.
note. That's so
Whoa.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, not to get all woke here, but Rob, like, this is like actually kind of offensive. Like, I mean, yeah, I guess, you know, it's kind of fallout from the Joe Biden situation, right? But like, what are we calling mental and physical fitness?
I
in
know,
order to
yeah.
get on the ballot even?
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, not to mention your close friend John Fetterman, Rob Sand.
That's true. I did not think of that. Yeah, this is, has the potential to be very ableist, honestly. Like, physical fitness, who gives a fuck? Like, how is that even relevant?
Right. Like, I guess if you like have terminal cancer and you have 6 months to live, probably you shouldn't be running for office, I suppose. Although maybe you'll do great things in the last few months of your life for the people of Iowa. Who knows? Impending
Death can really motivate people to do things that they wouldn't do otherwise, you know?
Yeah, you know, you put a hard time limit on your accomplishments, like that really will push you.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm saying that's a good thing.
We like to joke around on here, but I genuinely think this is kind of fucked up of him to put in this platform. Like, people in wheelchairs shouldn't be allowed to serve in Congress. This is an attack on Josh Turek.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Like, who gives a fuck? That's insane. Like, there's also no, again, criteria for who he thinks shouldn't be able to serve.
Yeah, because I think if he got specific, it would be like, oh boy, this is a little Nazi of you, buddy.
Mm-hmm. Also, then it's like, you know, like the cognitive, like, you know, the people definitely made a lot of memes about like the drawing a clock thing.
Right.
And then Trump is like, oh, I can draw a clock really good. I passed it with flying colors. Mm-hmm. Like, is that going to do anything to prevent people from... Also, doctor's note.
Yeah.
That's so fucking ridiculous.
There's no slimy doctors out there whose entire job would just be like rubber stamping these.
Yeah, Ronnie Jackson.
Yeah. I've been calling for implementing cognitive tests for years. There's actually some links in here that I didn't really look into. He links a tweet from 2021. Oh, yeah. He was quote tweeting Nikki Haley calling for cognitive tests. So there's a... There we go. He supports Nikki Haley in the quest for cognitive tests. And then a tweet from, also 2021. We already discriminate against youth. I'm suggesting fairness. Cognitive tests for all elected officials sounds good to me. So yes, he does have a track record there. One of the few things where he's like linked directly to past statements of his. So that one's really important to him. Requiring elected officials to take a civics test. I think it's good that high schoolers now have to pass a citizenship test to graduate. I do not think that's good.
He should, everyone needs to go through the school of, what is it called? School of Intellectual Freedom?
Yeah, the Center for Intellectual Freedom.
Go to the Center of Intellectual Freedom to get on the ballot.
That's basically what he brags about having done at Brown, right? Is like created a Center for Intellectual Freedom course for himself. Certainly, our statewide elected officials and state legislators should have to pass one to serve in positions of trust and power. They can take it when they turn in their signatures to get on the ballot. Oh, okay, so it would be the Secretary of State's office that would be determining the parameters of the civics test. Yes, I trust Paul Pate, the king of voter ID, to decide not only who gets to vote, but who gets to run for office. Yes, I think we should give him more power.
This is just absurd. Like, they have to turn in when they, get their, like, a petition to get on the ballot or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are we gonna, this is like an open book test? Like, like, Rob, if you really cared about it, then, wouldn't there be like, they'd have to go in person to take the test, be monitored, make sure they don't have any electronic devices.
Mm-hmm. You have to go to the testing center. Mm-hmm. Has to be proctored.
Like, you just know that the staffers are just going to fill out the paperwork and be done with it.
Yeah, that's their job, right? All right. And the last of the dumbass ideas presented in the better, truer agenda. Give independent voters an equal voice in our democracy and end the two-choice system. Yes, the duopoly, the Republicans and the Democrats, they have a stranglehold because of this first past the post electoral system. How do we solve this, Rob? Iowa's current election system forces you to join a private club in order to exercise your constitutional right to vote, disenfranchising independent voters. That's wrong, undemocratic, and should be brought to an end. We need to eliminate the two-choice system that pits neighbor against neighbor and forces Iowans to choose the lesser of two evils, of which I am one of them.
Isn't this... I don't see how this makes any difference to that.
Yeah.
I feel like the approval voting thing is the lesser of two evil. That prioritizes candidates who are not outside of, the mainstream.
Sure. I think that he maybe doesn't fully grasp how much he benefits right now from the lesser of two evils mentality.
Or maybe he does.
Yeah, I think he does get it. But, the people who are excited to vote for you are the most partisan Democrats. The, least critical, most, I have decided I'm a Democrat, and that means that I am good, and I don't have to think any more deeply about any of this. So, Rob Sand, yes. And then the rest of the people voting for you are well, he's not going to be as bad as Randy Feenstra.
Mm-hmm.
You're the lesser of two evils, man. You're the poster boy of lesser of two evils. That is Rob Sand right now.
Mm-hmm.
The last decade of one-party control has landed Iowa in a bad spot. But if you think the solution to that is giving the other party a decade of that same power, I invite you to visit California or New York.
That sounds great. There's a lot of cool stuff in those states.
Yeah. Buy my fucking plane ticket, buddy. I'd love to go to LA for a week.
That's, just mirroring the exact Republican talking points.
This is what Feenstra says about you, that you are going to turn Iowa into California. And to me, cool. That would be a definite step up from what we have
also,
now.
shouldn't you be talking about Illinois? That's right next door, right? And it's
much easier
similar
to visit.
situation.
Yeah. God, what an idiot.
Also,
I
in those
you
states,
to visit California or New York.
You just end up with conservatives running as Democrats.
Yeah, absolutely.
it's
Cuomo.
Yeah, for real.
He gave Republicans more power in the New York legislature. That is not a Democratic stranglehold. It is of course it's corruption, but it's bipartisan corruption. You're all the fucking same.
They live in larger, diverse states, so they're more socially liberal than the average Iowa politician on paper. But when it comes
which
to
terrifies us.
Yeah, which does terrify us. And that's exactly, the kind of people who actually care. California and New York are just fucking hellholes or whatever. It's those exact same people. But
he's pandering to people who are too afraid to visit Des Moines.
Yeah.
We should have a single public primary for candidates of all political parties or none at all. Wait, isn't that how New York does it? Isn't that the jungle primary system?
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Something
they're
like
all
that.
on one ballot or something. From which up to 4 candidates advance to the general election. Hey, Rob, if this is what you want, I invite you to visit New York. In the general elections, Iowans can use approval voting. Vote for as many of the candidates have earned your support. And whoever has the most support wins. This is clown shit. To me, this means you can fill in every bubble if you want.
Mm-hmm.
It's so silly. I did very cursory research on this.
I think I do think it's probably better than the first past the post shit. That is, it's a bad system that we have. But to say that this is really gonna change politics in America, I think is a huge overreach.
Yeah.
Because again, it doesn't address the fucking structural stuff. None of this obviously does, but
yeah. Hey, again, one weird trick. That's this whole platform. I appreciate you bringing me back down to earth. because when we get into the Rob Sand shit, like, I'm just like negative. He's right. The current ballots, that's not a good way to do it. But I looked at this approval voting thing, and like, I think they use it in Luxembourg and like municipal elections in Missouri. Some places I think use this system. They used to have it in North Dakota, but they stopped. That's it. From what I could see, that's it.
Yeah. Well, I think the jungle primary thing is worse. Like, that's not a good system. But yeah, the actual ranked choice or approval voting would be an improvement, I think.
Yeah. Why didn't he talk about ranked choice? Probably because there's like sort of propaganda efforts against it from the right wing, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he chose this weird crank shit. Approval voting seems like so niche and like so unusual in an agenda that's supposed to be like very lowest common denominator. It's like, this is all common sense. This is what, you go out on the street, you talk to the workers at the gas station. This is what we all can come together and agree on. And then it's like, I also think that you should be able to fill out every bubble on every ballot if you want. Like, this is kind of out of left field. Like, what? But this is what he says approval voting will do. Candidates will have an incentive to be more civil and more honest. Balance can help unite Iowans, repair our broken political system, and solve some of our state's toughest challenges. So if I can vote for both you and Randy Feenstra at the same time, this will like heal the divide.
Totally.
It's always funny to remember that, like, as critical as we are of the Iowa Democratic Party, Rob seems to hate them even more.
Totally.
like I don't think a decade of IDP control of the state would like be that great, but it would absolutely be way better than it is right now. Like, I'm willing to give him that, and he's not.
Yeah. Also, I don't know. There's like a lot of opportunity. Like, ranked choice voting, it happens, but this is also a system where like people who are strategically voting in blocks have a lot of power to, prevent certain candidates from even having a chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Damn. Well, we read the whole thing, unless that last paragraph is important, but fuck it. I'm done. I closed the PDF.
Yeah, that was a long time talking about Rob Sand's platform.
Yeah. Did you want to talk about any of this other shit, like the Bulwark mention of Rob?
No, I mean, that's a really bad article. We should probably put it in the show notes. But yeah, there's a Bulwark article about how Rob Sand is actually a populist.
Not a sloppulist, but a real populist.
Yeah.
It's non-slop populism, says Andrew Egger of the Bulwark, which I didn't realize was just a Substack. People talk about the Bulwark like it's a real publication, and it's like, this is just a blog.
Yeah, Bill Crystal. Mm-hmm. On the Bulwark. But yeah, Rob Sand is such an anti-elitist. I definitely believe that. This is like all, like you said, it's the guy at your work who, actually, I was thinking Rob Sand is basically, he's a libertarian.
Yeah.
He might as well be running for, I think he would prefer to be running as a libertarian than as a Democrat, but that wouldn't help him get elected. So,
I don't know at what point they select lieutenant governor, but bring Rick Stewart in, and I mean, certainly earn a few points from me. I would approve a little bit more if that's what you're looking for. Yeah, we don't have time to talk about Zach Wall's burning cash, taking fancy flights all over the country, and eating caviar on the IDP's dime. But shout out to him, my hometown hero. Getting those perks while he could from the Iowa Democratic Party's purse. Shout out. I got to go play a show, so we should probably wrap up, huh?
Yeah, sure.
All right. Speaking of shows, I have one show to plug later this month. April 19th, my band Ascended Master will be playing a show at Gabe's for the Kansas City band Class Act. Other local bands include Boot Camp and Savage Little Suckers. So that's going to be a big show, actually. And it's downstairs at Gabe's. So this is a rare opportunity to see some very loud, crazy bands downstairs at Gabe's. April 19th.
Downstairs. I don't think I've ever been to a show at the downstairs part of Gabe's.
Yeah. So, like, where the bar is downstairs?
Yeah.
There's like a back door there,
Yeah.
That spot is where people play downstairs at Gabe's.
Mm-hmm.
Just like, there's no stage really. It's just like a space next to the stairs out back. Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. Would you like to comment on any of our commentary that we just presented to you today on the show? You could call us if you like at 319-849-8733. You can leave us a voicemail. You can also text that number if you'd prefer, 319-849-8733. Do you love Rob Sand? Well, let's get in a fight about it. Tell us why we're wrong to criticize his 7-page stupid little platform. Yell at us. That's what we want. 319-849-8733. You can also send hate mail to P.O. Box 5336 in Coralville, Iowa, 52241.
We would love to hear from Rob Sand himself if he wants to call in. We can talk about this stuff.
It has been a while since we heard from Rob himself.
That's true. Rob himself? Was that intentional?
No, it wasn't. But after I said it, I was like, hey, if you like the show and you have $1 to spare, please, we love your dollar. Go to patreon.com/rockhardcaucus. Give us your hard-earned dollar and support the continued existence of this podcast. We have a great episode coming out on the Patreon this week. The 6th episode in our Talking Shat series. It's a blockbuster. People are going to be so excited that we did this.
It's a nice cherry on top of the, suffering through Invasion Iowa.
Yeah. It was all worth it, I think, after having the conversation we had the other night. We are... The next episode after this one that comes out this week is going to be our 200th Patreon episode. And I don't know, maybe we'll do something special for that, but it'll probably just be a call-us or something. So, but I'll be sure to mention, hey, this is Diamond Hard Caucus episode 200. I'll say that. It'll be special for that alone. All right, time to go. We're going to go out on some local music as usual. If you make music and you'd like it to be featured on the show, please go to rockhardcock.us. There's a link near the top to submit your music. I'm going to play something from an album that isn't out yet, but probably will be up on Bandcamp soon, with the Christine Burke Ensemble. We recorded a few pieces over the last year, and we're going to put that out soon. So here's a clip from the track Winds and Percussion, which is a piece that I wrote. So it's me, Christine Burke, Levi Brown, Mark Riome, Keegan Hockett, and Lex Leto, I think, are all on that track. I don't know. Just let's listen closely and you can discern who is on the track, I'm sure.
Stacked lineup.
Oh, yeah, the best that Iowa City has to offer. All right, that's all. Thank you, Evan, and thank you, everyone. We'll see you next week.
See ya.